Hey guys, it's Ari. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, hello, my name's Ari and welcome to my channel. Before I get started, I have two things to say. First of all, my hair is in ponytails again, and it looks bad. If you've followed me for a while, you know that I used to always wear my hair in ponytails because when I started my channel, I had like really short hair, not like really short, but like short hair. And so it couldn't go into ponytails, and then once it was long enough, I was constantly putting it in ponytails. Then I realized I looked stupid, so I stopped, but we're doing this again. And the second thing is that we're doing this again. In these music reaction video thingies, I try to like put the band t-shirt on of whatever band I'm reacting to and stuff. But I do not own any Melanie Martinez merch because of like the thing. So that's why my outfit is so extra. I also haven't worn this jacket since like freshman year. So that's fun. But today I'm going to be reacting to / commentating. That's the word. I'm going to be talking about K-12 by Melanie Martinez, the album and the movie. So I would normally go through the album and like each song and what I liked, didn't like, just like my thoughts on the songs. But I figured, why not just watch the movie / feature film or whatever it is, and then just like talk about that, because that has all the songs in it and because it's cool. And of course, because this is a controversial person that I'm making a video about, I'm going to add a little disclaimer. So if you already know the whole Melanie thing and you're over it, just keep skipping ahead 10 seconds until I'm not talking about it anymore. The allegations made against Melanie Martinez. Why do I have to do this? Listen up, guys. I stopped listening to Melanie. She was one of my favorite artists. I was actually going to be her for Halloween when, like, the first year I started listening to her. I loved her. I love her music, and her music helped me through some tough stuff. So I loved Melanie Martinez. When the allegations came out, I didn't do any research. I just was like, oh, I'm done. And I stopped listening to her for about 2 years. And then, I don't remember how I stumbled across it, but saw a video about, it's like, oh, Melanie Martinez didn't do it, and I was like, what? So I started actually researching the topic, and like, the allegations that were made, and the situation, and just everything involved, and I personally do not believe that she did it. Could I be wrong? Yes. But it is my personal belief that she did not do it, and if you believe that she did do it, and you choose not to watch her, not to listen to her, not to support her, I 100% get that. I'm not going to be like, she didn't do it. Oh my gosh, you're so dramatic. Like, that's fine. So, if you came to unlike or dislike the video because it's about Melanie Martinez and you think I'm a terrible person, I'm just telling you right now that I genuinely do not believe that she did it. And if new evidence comes out, or if one day I have a change of heart and I do believe that she did it, I will most likely take this video down and unadd all of her songs from my Spotify once again. So yeah, just know that I am not standing a person that did that. In my mind, I don't think that she did it. So if she did do it and I find out that she did, or I believe that she did, I would not be making this video. Great, now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the video. So my first what's the word that I'm looking for? My first impression was beautiful pink bus. I love the pink bus. Social Repos, why is this all the controversial people? Social Repos got invited to the premiere, and he did like a kind of like tiny little vloggy thingy, and they had the pink bus there, and it is so freaking pretty. I love the pink bus, and I want to live in a pink bus now. The next thing, by the way, these are like, I have like a notebook here, and these are kind of bullet points I jotted down throughout watching it, so the flow of this might be kind of weird because I'm reading off bullet points, but like that's just how it is, so yeah. On the bus, when her eyes turned black and she started doing her little power thing to the kids in the back of the bus, my first thought was, she looks like Social Repos. I keep bringing up Social Repos. I don't know if it was CGI or if she did put in sclera lenses, but regardless, the black eye thing, totally Social Repos, totally liked that. It also gave me like an 11 Stranger Things kind of vibe, just because she was like, and then it was like, and, you know? Another note, just like for throughout the entire thing, when she woke up in the morning and was getting ready, her hair was freaking beautiful because it was like half black and then the other half was blonde, but it had like pink and blue and blonde, and it was really pretty. And then she got to school and it was just blonde. And then in some of the music videos, it's like purple, or it's like blue, or it's gray. So I'm really curious, did she just dye her hair multiple times? Or did she use like the spray and stuff? Or did she use extensions? Or, well, she obviously used extensions because her hair isn't that long. I don't know. I was just really curious if they filmed, I mean, they obviously took a bit to film it, but I was curious if they filmed over like a year and she just did dye her hair, the different colors depending on what they were filming. But I kind of doubt that, so I assume it was edited or like fake or a wig or something. I just thought that was interesting. I also do want to say, if you haven't watched K through 12, first of all, there will be kind of spoilers. There's not really a plot line to it, so I don't know what I'd be spoiling, but yeah. But also, I was very surprised. It is a pretty politically charged movie slash film. So, you know, if you haven't seen it, slash if you get offended by that kind of stuff, then I would click away because we're just about to dive right into the political stuff. So the next bullet point I jotted down was the pledge. So, when she got to class late and the teacher was like, okay guys, time for the pledge, and the guy came over the intercom, so first of all, I didn't know they were going to actually say the like American pledge. I thought it was going to be some like cool Melanie Martinez pledge, and I was curious. They did say the Pledge of Allegiance, the American pledge. Do other countries even have pledges? Is that a thing? Like the Australian pledge, the Norwegian pledge. If you're from another country, can you comment if there's a pledge to your country? I've heard that other countries find it really weird that Americans do the pledge every morning. If you don't know what that is, because I know I do have some of you guys from other countries, it's like every morning at school, like they come over the intercom and we all stand up and like put our hand on our heart and say like, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and it's like this thing that we recite. Because I've heard that in other countries they get really freaked out about that. So yeah, comment something about the pledge if you're from a different country, because I'm curious. So I personally know people that do not stand up for the pledge. I'm not going to talk about my personal opinions about standing for the pledge or sitting for the pledge or what it means about you or what's right or what's wrong, if you should stand, if you should sit, who you are, and that if that dictates if you should stand or sit, any of that, because that's like a whole other video that I'm not going to make because it's just live your life, guys. Some of the people that I know that do not stand for the pledge or haven't stood for the pledge in the past have gotten hit, they've gotten kicked, they've gotten yelled at, they've gotten, you know, and I'm just like, let people just do what they want. Like, honestly, you guys, no matter what your opinion is, it's gonna be okay. So when they all stand up to say the pledge, first of all, the intercom voice is very evil, which I mean, it was obviously on purpose because she directed the entire movie, but which I feel like she was trying to say something about the pledge or about the state of this country or just something by making the pledge an evil voice. But there's one child, these are like actually grown adults in like baby clothes, but one child, there's one kid, a black kid that doesn't stand up for the pledge, and the teacher yells at him and she's like, get up for the pledge, get up for the pledge, and he's like, no, I'm not standing for the pledge. And then when it ends, she gets mad at him, and he says, do you hear that? Liberty and justice for all. And I don't swear on my channel because I live at home, which means I can be punished. But he says, liberty and justice for all. You hear that? That's BS. And then the teacher like presses this button, and these like security people come in and they like drag him out kicking and screaming. So I feel like that was definitely meant to represent things, whether it was specifically about standing for the pledge or just like nationalism in general or what. I was very surprised within like the first couple minutes of the movie. I was like, that was political. That was very political, very fast. Okay. And like I said, these are bullet points, so they're probably not going to be super related from point to point, but the next point is I like that it was a continuation of the past story. Like, when she talked about her mother and things, it was like I said, it was continuation of the past music videos, the past story. She didn't just, like, new era, new me, she connected her old album and her old, like, persona of Crybaby into the new movie, and of course her name was Crybaby in the new movie. I also had a huge question, which is, where did they film all of this? My question is, how much of it was sets in a studio, how much of it was like mostly CGI, and how much of it was actually real? Because like in my brain, I just imagine like, oh, that's just like Melanie Martinez's house, and she just like filmed it in her awesome house, because I just feel like that's what her house would look like. But I'm really curious. I wonder if there's a behind the scenes or something I could look at that will tell me like, where did they film all of that? Because it's beautiful. It's so pretty, and it's just like so Melanie Martinez-esque that I'm very curious to where they filmed that, slash if they CGI'd a lot of it. Like obviously when the bus is underwater, that wasn't real. But I just find that I want to go there. Oh my gosh, photo shoot at the K through 12 Sleepaway Academy. Honestly. Another thing I thought was just like kind of funny was that the teacher was snorting the chalk like it was cocaine. And it just showed it a couple times, like the chalk dust, and she was like snorting it. So I don't know if she was actually snorting chalk dust because she is a crackpot, or if she was snorting cocaine because she is a crackpot. So we finally get to the song Recess. I believe that's the song. Honestly, I'm not completely sure any of the titles because I'm smart like that and I do research. But I'm pretty sure it's the song Recess. And it's basically where this chick is like attacking her, and so she uses her magical 11 powers and she lifts them up in the air and she's like, don't bully me, and then her braids get really, really long and they like strangle her. That was interesting. Definitely felt like 11. It felt like the moment in, was it season 1? Where those kids are like, Will or someone jump off the cliff into the water, and she's like, no. Did that make sense? I did like the lyric in there, and I just have like a note jotted down, so this might not be the correct lyric, but my true love called me a monster. That's at least the lyric that I heard. So I recently have been like, it isn't even recently at this point, but kind of recently had some good conversations with a lot of people about bullying and standing up for yourself. And a big thing that we all had in common, either currently or in the past, was that when we were being attacked or bullied, did not want to stand up for ourselves because we didn't want to hurt them back, if that makes sense. And it's hard because I have friends who get bullied and I'm like, hey, stand up for yourself, and they say I can't. And I've had times in my past where the school have said you need to stand up for yourself or you need to talk to the police, and they'll stand up for you because this isn't okay. And I decided I'm not doing either, and I just left the school so that I wouldn't have to deal with it, because the person they're talking about, I knew that he had a difficult life at home, and no matter what he did to me, no matter how much he ruined my life, I was like, if I stand up for myself, he will get in trouble and it will make his life harder. If that makes any sense. So when she says, my true love called me a monster, it's kind of hard because it's like, she stood up for herself and she hurt the girl back, and she talked about it afterwards, like when you can hear her thought process and everything. But in my brain, she was standing up for herself, and that doesn't make her a monster. Does that make sense? This is like a really deep and political video that I'm literally just trying to react to Melanie Martinez, but she's the one that put all of this in front of me to analyze. Also, when she's sitting and you can hear her thoughts, she says something about how, like, the girl didn't really do anything, and she's like, I broke skin, and I'm like, the girl started cutting your arm open. That's why she, like, retaliated, right? And she was like, she didn't even break skin or something, but I broke skin, and it was this whole thing, and I was like, crybaby, honey, she tried to cut your arm off, like, it's okay. Next thing, again, like, getting really political really fast in this movie, was when the transgender teacher was in there saying, like, I just want to be my authentic self. The students have been really supportive, and the principal is like, F you, we hate you, you can't be trans, you're influencing the students, you need to leave. And she's like, please, the students are nice about it, I'm cool, like, it's all fine. And the guy is just like, you're fired, goodbye, and Melanie gets very angry about that, and then there's a whole other musical number. I was curious, most everything in the story is pink or blue for boys and girls, and there is like the nurses' outfits were purple, and there's like some purple things, but the transgender teacher, her hair was purple, and I kind of felt like that might have been kind of a reference to her being pink, like being a girl, but she wasn't able to wear pink / have pink hair because administration viewed her as a man, and so it was kind of a mix of the pink and the blue. Or Melanie just thought it was like a cool costume and so she wore it. But I don't know, I thought maybe that was like a theory or something. And then, one of the best songs she just, gets mad. She's like, wow, they fired that teacher. I'm gonna sing a song about it. And she just goes right into a song about corruption. Honey, 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 honey. I keep snapping, but you can't. Every Friday, I go up to the Utah State Capitol and I strike for the climate. There's always more information about that in my bio if you're like, what does that mean and why do you talk about it all the time? But corruption is corruption, man. Because of my work with the climate and everything that I do with Fridays for Future Utah, I am politically involved. I try not to post. My Twitter is mostly climate and some political things. On Instagram, I try to stay out of political stuff because I used to do that all the time and it was just terrible. Like, just arguments and it was bad. But I am still really politically involved in my life outside of screens and pictures. And the corruption is real, especially in this country. Like, of course there's other countries that are more corrupt. I love it when I say something about America and people are like, well, in other countries, it's worse. And I'm like, and in other countries, it's better. Yeah, man. Every country is different. But we definitely have a lot of corruption here. Corruption is definitely a huge thing in my life. And I loved that song and I loved the lyrics, even though it wasn't about the climate necessarily. And it's called, I believe that one's called The Principle. I have random 2-word notes of the lyrics I wanted to talk about, but I don't know what that means, Ari. I don't remember. This one, one of them just says killing kids, and I do remember there's a line I really like about, it's killing kids, you don't care for the profit, or something like that. Probably not even close to that. But climate change does cause people to die. It costs people's lives. We've already seen it this year. We've already seen it probably today. It happens every day, and so the climate crisis is driven by money. And so I did really like that line about how they're killing kids for their profit, because they are. There's a lot of words on here, just hope, dreams, trying to make you listen, things like that. So I don't know what lyrics I was talking about, but definitely it's true. It's about that battle against corruption and trying to save our future and our dreams, but the corruption is preventing those, so that's why we're doing activism. That's why activism is such a big thing in this day and age, because we're like, that is our future. That is our future, so we're not about to let you take that away. Also, I'm realizing right now that you can see the camera in my glasses because we paid an extra $50 freaking to get anti-glare on my glasses, and what did they do? They didn't give us anti-glare. I'm gonna actually call them because I'm mad. Should I just take them off? I look so pretty with them off. We're taking them off. And then I actually did write this whole lyric down, and it says, the more you F us over, the more we'll be there yelling at your front door, which is so true. The climate strike movement has gotten so big, and it's been growing slowly but surely in America because we say, hey, stop effing up the climate. And the government says, we're gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna do it even more. And then we just get even more angry and say, hey, stop effing up the climate. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. Fast forward to the show and tell song. So, first of all, I think it's really cool how they made her a puppet, because I just was thinking about how they made the movie, and they had to build that puppet stand giant so that she could be a puppet in it, and it was really cool, and it was a cool dance. It was kind of weird, the classmates' reactions and everything, but it was pretty cool. That song, I feel like, is a lot about what happened after her allegations, talking about being in the spotlight, talking about kind of even fans, how she's still just a human being. She's just like us, she's just a human, and how she feels that she's expected to be held at this, massive, super high standard, but she's like, I'm not a superhero, I'm not any different, you can't hold me to such a high standard. I'm just the same as you, and I should have the same standards as you, if that makes any sense. And fast forward again to Nurse's Office. That song hit me. Some of these songs I was like, oof, okay, wow, that was kind of, don't call me out like that. Nurse's Office, essentially is a song about faking going to the nurse's office, faking getting sick to get away from people in your classes / at school. And that hit hard because the same guy I was talking about earlier, this was in 8th grade. I ended up dropping out of 8th grade. If you can drop out of middle school, I did. I didn't go to school. Like I said, I left the school. I didn't switch schools. I just stopped going to school because I couldn't anymore. And so that year, before I dropped out, I didn't go to school a lot. I would pretend to be sick a lot, partially because anxiety of going to school and seeing those people did make me sick. But I also kind of amplified my sickness and pretended that I was a lot worse than I was a lot of times because I didn't want to see those people and I didn't want to go to school and I didn't want to go to class with them and I didn't want to tell anybody what was happening or I didn't think they would help me. So I just was like, I'm sick, I can't go, so that I would avoid it. So I love Nurse's Office. I love that song. It's very true and it's a very sad reality that a lot of kids and people have to go through, I think. Next bullet point just says psychotic bunnies because what the crap? Randomly, those bunny dudes just come in and I'm just, okay. And then at the one part where like the fairy princess saves them and she like is in this big portal door thing and they're like, wait, take us with you, and she's like, no, you have to stay here. What was that about? Honestly, I was just like, whoa, psychotic bunnies, and then suddenly there was a fairy princess lady and then she just left. That was weird. I did like when she was talking to them, the fairy princess was talking to them, she said, you're immortal. And Melanie was just like, we are so tired of our existence. And I was like, yeah, me too, man. Like, people always ask, like, oh, I wish I was immortal. And I'm like, why? I am tired. I've only been here, like, 17 years, and I'm tired, man. I don't want to be here for eternity. I don't want to be here for 200, 300. I want to go to sleep now. Like, I'm so tired. And so, just when she said, you guys are immortal, and she was like, we're tired, I was like, me too. And then the random part I feel like was completely irrelevant was just like the ghosts in the ballroom having a ball and then she sneezed and they were like, ah, and they like tried to attack them. I feel like that didn't add anything to the story. And then they like slammed the doors and then the ghosts were all banging on the doors. They're ghosts. They can go through the doors. Why were they banging on the doors? They could have just gone right through the doors. Also, what were they gonna do? Like, what could they do? They're ghosts. If they try to like punch you, it just goes right through you. I don't know, maybe these were stupid ghosts. And then we fast forward to her in drama club / drama class, because if it was a club, she wouldn't be there and it was during the school day. So anyway, it was drama class, but the song is called Drama Club, whatever. And she mentions, she's like, could I not be cast in a role so domestic? Could I be this, or could I be the president? This guy turns around and he's like, no, like, your kind wasn't meant for that. You're too soft and sensitive to have a man's job. And it was this whole thing, and I was like, she's about to go all 11 on you. And she was just like, no. And what I didn't like is that when she clapped back at him, she did say, we are superior to you. And I'm like, go feminism and everything, but that's not feminism, that's being a feminazi, if that makes sense. Like, he said, you're too soft and sensitive, you shouldn't have a man's job. Obviously, yes, you should clap back at that. And she said, us being soft and sensitive actually makes us, like, has a better capacity to understand the needs of the people. And it was, like, a really good response. And I was like, yeah, man, like, equality. And then she goes, and our sensitivity is one of the many reasons we are superior to you, or something. And I was like, now you're being sexist. Like, you had such a good clapback, and then you ended it by being a feminazi. Feminists, feminazi. Feminists good, feminazis bad. That annoyed me. Then in the actual song Drama Club, it reminded me a lot of Tom MacDonald. This is the video of every controversial person that I watch / listen to. But Tom MacDonald, a lot of his songs are about people being too sensitive. Some of them call me too sensitive. I don't listen to because I'm like, you crossed the line a little bit, Tom. Most of his music is kind of his brand is like right on the line of being like offensive. He doesn't care about being politically correct. He like is politically correct, but he's not. It's weird. And so it just kind of reminded me, she's talking about how everyone's so sensitive. That reminded me of Tom MacDonald. It also kind of reminded me of the song Sad Rappers and Exposure by him when she was talking about how everybody's faking being sad for the drama club, which is so accurate. In his song, she's talking about rappers who are like, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm so anxious, I do drugs because I'm sad, when people actually commit suicide every single day, and like addiction is not a joke, and just all, he has good songs about that. And I feel like she was kind of saying the same thing, like, y'all are pretending to be sad, pretending my life is so hard to get attention for the drama club. And I really liked that. And then during the music video of drama club, she's like in the play, right? So she's like dancing in her like housewife. I'm a housewife. I'm dancing because I'm a woman, and I dance with the men. What am I talking about? And then she's like ironing because she's a housewife, and she's ironing. And then the husbands are there, and they start like yelling at the husbands. And then she just like irons her husband's face. So that was a mood. And then the drama club dude was like, what are you doing? Stop. That's not how the play goes. And she just turns around and goes, you're being brainwashed. And everyone's like, what? And she's like, you're being brainwashed. Wake up. You're being... And the guy's like, stop it. And then she's like, you're brainwashed, please. And everyone's like, is Crybaby okay? But I did like that. Like, honestly, iconic. After that, it cuts to a scene. The scene that was actually in the preview for K-12 that I was gonna react to, then I didn't because my camera broke. If you've been following my channel for a while, y'all should just make a compilation of me talking about how my camera's broken, because I'm pretty sure it's been in every video I've ever made. It's a scene where her and her friend are digging, and then it just cuts to them going, I believe they go play tennis after that, but I was like watching, and I was like, why are they just digging a big hole? Like, that's weird. And then they are talking to their other friend, and she's like, did you find somewhere to dump the principal? And they're like, yeah, I just did. And I was like, oh. Also, I feel like, did I miss the part that they killed the principal? Like, did I get distracted? Or did it not show them killing the principal, and you just know, oh, they killed him? Like, is that... I feel like I missed that. Okay, and then in the next one, Strawberry Shortcake. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but Strawberry Shortcake, that song. First of all, flawless. But my first thought was, where are her nipples? Like, not to be not safe for work or anything, but she's standing there without a shirt, and she doesn't have belly button or nipples, and it's just really creepy looking. Does that... You know what I mean? It freaked me out. It's kind of like in Social Reposes. Why is she just Social Repose? It's like in Social Reposes' video for Mercy Kill, he's like not wearing any clothes. But it's also not showing anything, like inappropriate. It's just weird. You're like, I don't understand how I'm seeing you naked, but like you're not naked, you know? Now I did write this down because I love this. Have you guys seen, we're exposing the fact that I have a TikTok. I don't post on it, I have 0 videos, but I watch TikTok because they're ironic and funny. There's one, and the audio is, it's like girls who wear tank tops to school or like show their shoulders at school, and then you just pop out and you're like, nasty. That's nasty. Ew. Because it's like, get it? Because like when you wear a tank top to school, all the administration gets triggered because your shoulders are inappropriate. Yeah. But this lyric, I remember the word. This lyric says, boys acting like they ain't seen skin before, got sent home because my shirt was too short. It's my fault, it's my fault. And I feel like it's talking about like assault culture and things like that. It's also just talking about how stupid that is, you know, like the dress code and the standards for women, but it also has hints of talking about if something happens to you, it is your fault because you were showing skin, so the boy couldn't control himself. And it's a good song, and there's some more lyrics in there that are very good. Then there's a scene, again, I felt was like a little bit randomly just thrown in there, but again, maybe I got distracted and just like didn't see the transition. But she's like laying in a field with that outfit that has like 2 huge like balls here and 2 like here. Can't see, but I'm pointing to my hips. And she's like just laying there, and she's like, I don't want to be here anymore. And she's like having a mental breakdown, and she's just like, I just want to die. I don't want to be on this earth anymore. First of all, super random, but I was also like, it's me. But I didn't really I didn't understand why that was thrown in there so randomly, or what she was wearing, or what it was supposed to be slash represent. But I feel like that part she was kind of talking about her experience after her career got derailed by the accusations, which again is understandable because if people just didn't care, that's what happened for long. Okay, whatever. I feel like she was kind of voicing some of her thoughts that she had during that time period. I don't know. I just got that vibe. So I just thought that was interesting. And then we cut to the part that was also in the preview where the girl gets her period and they're like, oh no. And they're like, okay, we'll take you to the bathroom and teach you how to be a woman. That's not what they said, but you get the gist of it. There's a windstorm outside, so if you hear bangs, it's because everything's falling. I am so glad that I do not live on the coast, because not about to have a hurricane. Also, thanks climate change for that. Not for hurricanes. Hurricanes already happen. I'm not going into it. But again, throwing that little political thing in there, they go into the bathroom and she's like, oh, there's only one tampon left in the machine. Does anyone have change? Because guys, slash younger girls, slash just girls who didn't know this, so in public bathrooms, sometimes they will have like a little machine, like a machine. And if you need like a tampon or a pad, you can pay and it will dispense one to you. Which is kind of terrible because you need that. It's a big debate about the period stuff because you can't not have it. Like, you need it. It's not a debate. It is a debate because men don't understand. Not all men. I know not all men. I know. Many men, especially the ones in power, which is the problem, debate, you don't need that. First of all, if you ever just say you don't need that, just hold it in, I don't think you understand how it works. We would love to do that. But yeah, so they go into the bathroom and there's a tampon thing and they're like, oh good, well, that's what you need because that's what you need during this time. And so they go and no one has any money so she can't get one. Which again, it's like she needs it. It's not a choice, she needs to have that. And she can't do it because they don't have money. Which was a politically charged little scene, which I appreciated. And then Crybaby slash Melanie is like, turns her eyes black and goes, pwah, and then it opens up and there's not any in there. So that sucks. But then after they open it, they have a little conversation about how tampons should be free, and we love the pink movement. And then we get to the food fight scene where they're the lunchbox. I just gave myself a paper cut. Oh my gosh. I just was talking with my hands and like my notebook, and then it's fine. Everything is okay. We're shown the lunchbox friends scene, which I don't really get. I feel like either I'm really stupid or a lot of the scenes felt random. But the lunchbox friends thing, she's like, I don't want to be your friends, you're fake, I want real friends. And so she goes and makes a real friend, brings her back to their group, and they're like, oh, we're glad you're back, we thought you were with the stupid people. And she's like, nah, man, I was making a real friend. And they bring her back. Was that thunder? That is thunder. There's a thunderstorm. Okay. But then they're looking at like the plastics or the carbon copies or just the stupid people, and they see one of the girls, and there's an orange floating in front of her, and her eyes are black, and they're like, she's one of us. And I was like, okay, but what does that mean? Like, one of us? What are you? Spoiler alert, you never find out. And then I also just had a note that says aesthetic food, because the food was very aesthetic, and I appreciated it. Do you remember when everyone was obsessed with aesthetic? Like, what's your aesthetic? Like, oh, I'm just trying to be aesthetic, and I wanted to die during that time period. The next song is called Orange Juice, and another one that I was like, that hits a little hard, guys. Why are you doing that? But it was very good. it's the girl that's like one of them with the orange, and the whole song is about eating disorders, and it has like scenes in the school and in the cafeteria and in the bathroom, where she's like throwing up orange juice, and then there's also scenes where they're like contemporary dancing in a field, which is cool. So I support that. But I could go like way into depth and make a whole video about that music video in the movie, but I'm not going to. So if you're going to watch any part of the movie slash any music video or listen to any song, listen to Orange Juice. And then I just have a note that says blue people, because why are some of the dudes blue? Like, they just have blue skin for no reason. None of the girls just have pink skin for no reason. Why are some of the guys just blue? Another question I had is, why are some of the like security guards, they look like custodians, but they're always the one dragging people out like security guards. So why are there the custodian security guards? Some of them are human and some of them are creepy bunnies. So just a question there. And then we go into, I believe it's detention that it's leading up to. She's sitting in class and she just screams. Like, I feel that. I felt that in my bones. And then that song leads into detention, which is not about being bad. It's about, I don't even know how to explain what it's about. I did write a line in here that says, I want to go home, but you say it's not the time. F being alone in the back of the class. And then she starts talking about how they're calling home and saying your kid is acting up, she's a bad kid. I recently had an experience, when I was in middle school, I was doing all sorts of bad, sad things, and I don't wear shorts that often, but when I do, sometimes I get weird looks down at my legs, and just during middle school, this is a very middle school-esque vibe to this, at least for me. There were times when I did want to go home. I was like, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. I'm going to do something stupid. I did do stupid things at school because of everything, and I just wanted to go home, couldn't handle it anymore, and the school and my mother would say, it's not time to go home, it's time to be in school, which I obviously understand. Like, you can't just be like, oh, you want to come home? Okay, come home. But when it's a mental thing, and you need to go home, and you need everything to stop, and you don't have it stop, that's going to cause you to potentially act out. And so when they're calling your parents and they're saying your kid is being bad, I feel like maybe instead of just being like, you're a bad kid, why are you being stupid, you should be like, are you okay? Because obviously you don't just let them off the hook. Like, of course you can punish, but I just feel like it's such a huge thing that mental illness causes people to act out. Kids and adults and people that are acting out or doing stupid things in their lives, it's generally driven by mental illness. So I really liked this song, and she talks in the song, I believe the line is, pretending you're okay is detention, or something like that. Pretending everything's fine, that you're happy or something, is detention. She's talking about how you can punish her for acting out, but the real punishment is that she has to pretend like she's fine, which can lead to acting out. I don't know if that made sense. I also love during that part of the music video, she's sitting in class like looking psychotic, and then her eyes start to like flash from black back to normal, black back to normal. I really feel that. Like, I obviously am not gonna have superpowers or anything, but just the feeling of losing control, and you're like, I'm holding it together, and your eyes are welling up with tears, and you're like, I can't do it, and then you're like, I'm fine, I'm holding it together, and then it does that, especially during class. Like, I'm making myself out to sound so depressed. It's okay, guys. Then there's a song about like hooking up with the teacher, which is super weird, and then the music video takes like a weird turn where he's like evil and it's like no longer consensual, and it's super weird. But the part I did like about that is that then like Melanie / Crybaby runs in and she's like, stop it. And he's like, oh no, she caught me. And then she's like, ah, 11 moment. And he like falls on the ground. And she's like, poof. And her friend becomes normal again. And then the friend turns around and is like, has this like knife. And she's like, and she kills him. So he deserved that, for the record. That's what you deserve. And then randomly, I guess it's not super random because she finds a love note and then there's a whole love song scene, but it was just kind of random because it like had nothing to do with the school. The aesthetic wasn't like the rest of the movie. It was kind of a love song sort of vibe that didn't even really talk about the specific situation. Like, most of the songs really fit with the situation in the movie. It was kind of like she found a love letter and then like they're going throughout the day and then suddenly it's like music video, high school sweethearts, if you love me, and then it just like went back to the movie. So it was that's what I thought was kind of weird. I did in that song like the line, she's going through like the steps and I believe she says step 7, this one goes to 11 or something, and then she says if you cheat you will die. So that's a good one. I like that. If you cheat you will die. Like, straight up just telling you right now, we're gonna start dating, let me tell you the rules. If you cheat, you will die, so don't do that. The rest of this is kind of just little questions I had because, like, I was left with many questions. The first one is plotline, which I believe caused a lot of these questions. There's not a plot line, really. Like, there kind of is. It's like trying to escape the school, which I understand. Like, I don't want to be at school either, but I don't understand why it's like they're gonna die if they don't escape the school. And she even does say to the fairy lady at a point, I don't want to die here. I don't know if I'm stupid or if it just wasn't very clear why she's gonna die at the school and why they have to escape so bad. Like, I know that it's corrupt and it's sexist and it's all these terrible things, but I don't understand why they're like, we have to, we're gonna die. Comment down below if you got that and I missed it, but I just didn't get it. So the plotline was kind of like trying to escape the school, but it also was kind of just random. Like, I didn't feel like there was a plotline, which is fine because it was made mainly, I believe, to showcase the music videos, which kind of go in like a story order, but they're not a full plotline. Next question is just the random ghosts. Like, the ghosts did not contribute anything to the story. They just were randomly there, and they randomly were like, oh, there's ghosts dancing in the ballroom, and they were like, ah. And then there's like the ghost that was by them, and she's like, oh, what was that? And she goes, scary. And then like, that was it. Like, there's just ghosts randomly in this place, but I don't understand what they added to the plotline or why they were there. And then at the end where she's like, I let everyone down, because she goes to the dance with the guy they were gonna like kill or whatever. And then and then this lady goes into his office and she's like, I'm here to apply for the assistant position. And he's like, the assistant position? And then she's like, not going into detail, but she's, like, oh yes, the closet. And he's like, oh yes, the closet. And then he opens the closet door and comes inside and he's like, come into the closet. And she's like, oh. And she turns into Melanie Martinez and slams the door, and I was like, okay, so apparently Melanie can shapeshift, like Crybaby just suddenly shapeshifted. That was never mentioned at all that she could do that, and then suddenly she just did, so I guess she can shapeshift. And the last thing I have to say is that it just ended on a cliffhanger. None of my questions were answered, and then they just were like, here, have more questions, and then it just ended, and what? It ends like they all run out of the school, and then the school floats away in a bubble, and then like this portal thing opens, and they're all like, oh, finally, and they're like, finally, into the portal we go, and then Melanie's like, and they're like, Crybaby, are you coming? And she's like, and then it just ends. Where are they going? What are they? What? Why? How? All of the questions. Where are they going? Why can't Melanie decide if she wants to go? Maybe it's because of that boy she had a crush on. Maybe it's like only girls in that secret world. Anyways, I don't know, and I was left with many questions. My hair, look at these ponytails. Like, what is, like, the random, just, like, spiky, I need to focus. I'm gonna run out of storage. So those were my thoughts, my bullet points. I currently have 40 minutes of footage according to the camera, so I hope this was not a 40-minute video. I hope it was shorter. If it was a 40-minute video, thank you if you stayed till this point. That's like super litty of y'all. Also, I don't know why I keep saying litty, but I do, so it's a new word. Definitely tell me what you guys think in the comments about Melanie Martinez's movie / the songs and the album, especially the movie because I thought it was super weird, and like you saw in the video, there was multiple points I just did not understand, so if you understood them, please tell me because I am confused. I personally think she's going to do some project, whether it's a new album or an official, like, real, like, DVD movie, maybe, sequel sort of thing, but whatever she's doing, she's going to do a sequel, or she's going to explain more. There's going to be more, like, context, I guess, or more to the storyline that's going to help us understand. I don't know when, but I know it's going to happen. I just know. Also, comment down below if you've watched this and you have anything that you feel like you want to say regarding her allegations. I don't want to start arguments in the comments, so please, if you disagree with someone, just disagree with them and then just move on with your life, because honestly, they have their opinion, you have yours. You can attack them. That's not going to make them have your opinion. Like, all that's going to do is put more negativity into the world, and the world is so negative. Why would you want that? But if you do feel like you have something to say in regards to you believe she did it or you believe she didn't do it, and you feel strongly either way, you feel like you want to get that out, go ahead and just into the comments and say that, and I'll read them. So if you do think she did it and you don't support her, you don't think I should support her, for sure, put your evidence down there, let me know, and while I'm reading them, if I see some stuff that changes my mind, and I decide I actually don't want to support her, I will for sure take this video down. So go ahead and go off respectfully in the comments if you want to about that. I'm going to try to end the video right now because I have a lot of footage, like I said, and you guys are really bored. So, thank you so much for watching. I don't have an outro. Make sure to like the video if you liked the video so that YouTube knows that you liked the video and can recommend more videos like this to you, and can recommend this video to other people that are like you so they can watch it and then I can feel validated. Just kidding. It would be cool, you know, like if I got a lot of views. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. For real though, like the video if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, please go watch a video that you like. I don't know why you stayed for 40 minutes. If you do want to subscribe and become a part of the cringe crew, I feel like Melanie Martinez can be counted as cringe now, just because she's controversial. Just because she's debatable, people will be like, that's so cringe, you stan her. So guess what, guys, you're a part of the cringe crew now. Definitely subscribe if you want to. It would make me happy. It would maybe makes you happy if you want to see more of my videos and get notified. Also, the bell got turned off for a lot of people because YouTube hates creators, so if you want to turn it on, do that, please. One more time, thank you so much for watching. Go and put some positive energy, some positive vibes, some positivity into the world. I love you guys, and peace out.